Hi, and welcome to A Cup of Tea with Steven. I'm sorry I've not been around for a few weeks, but I had a little bit of a family tragedy, and I have to say a huge thank you to all my friends and family that supported me. I lost one of my best friends of 40 years, and today we're going to dedicate the show to my friend Martin Anand. And funny enough, he was a huge fan of my guest today, which I'm quite excited about. He met her many times and loved her to bits. So today's dedicated to Martin Anand, and he loved A Cup of Tea and was a huge supporter of it. We love you, Martin. Anyway, Martin was almost so upbeat, so this is going to be an upbeat day today. He liked my guest very much today. She's the one girl that can drink me under the table and party me under the table. She is the original bad girl. It's Nicole Faraday. Hello, lovely.
Hello, what an introduction. Oh dear, I don't know if my parents will be happy about that.
Darling, everyone's parents are happy but you.
Oh, lovely to see you, Stephen. It's been so long.
You know, it is. It's really, yeah, and you're looking wonderful.
Thank you very much. It's living by the sea, you see. I'm back where I belong. I'm a mermaid. I think I'm really a mermaid. So there you go.
I love about, so many people, I mean, it's so difficult for actors and actresses and anyone working in the business, but you've turned your hand to actually doing something a little bit different, haven't you? You opened up your own little bit of sideline business. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, sure. So basically, obviously, when COVID hit, every single live performance that I had booked, because I sing as well as act, as you know, so I had concerts booked. I normally go and sing out in a big female women's festival out in Mallorca every summer. I had a rep season booked. I had pantomime booked, all that kind of stuff. And in one foul swoop, it all got cancelled. So I'm not the kind of person that likes just kind of sitting around and feeling miserable. I just always have to be doing something, because otherwise it would have really got to me. So I just thought, what do I like doing? Well, I'm fortunate enough to have moved back down to where I grew up down here by the sea in Dorset. Yeah. And it's a really beautiful bit of the country here, as you probably know, like, Durdledore, Lulworth Cove, Studland, Swanage, it's a very famous part of the country, the Jurassic Coast. So, and I've always enjoyed taking photographs. So I just went out during the first lockdown and took pictures of some of the local beautiful landmarks and some of the coastline that obviously people during lockdown weren't going to be able to come and visit. So I was taking pictures, and then I thought, what does everyone need? Well, they need face masks. So why don't I have my pictures screen printed onto face masks? So I ended up opening a face mask business with all lovely my photography of local Dorset landmarks, and actually it got picked up by the Arts Council England, and they put it in a Corona Visions art inspired by the coronavirus exhibition in Worthing, and they've sold them in the tourist information centre down here and all the tourist shops. So instead of people buying a tea towel or a box of fudge, they buy one of my face masks.
Bad Girls has become like Star Trek. There are conventions for them everywhere now, isn't there? Have you been to any of them?
Oh, so exciting. Yes. Last weekend, in fact, was the first that I'd ever been to. They've had a couple before, but this was the biggest one ever. And we were raising money for the Ailey Brown Memorial Fund, which Simone Labib, who played Helen Stewart, of course, in the television series, still very well-known actress, her niece died of cancer, age 14. So this charity was set up in her memory. So Simone came up with the idea a few years ago that because Bad Girls, there's such a love for Bad Girls among kind of diehard Bad Girls fans, it seems to inspire that kind of longevity among the fans, to have a convention, but to raise money for the Memorial Fund. And the last two have gone really well. So this one she set up, it was the biggest one ever. So there were 12 of us original cast members from across the series. I was in series 4 and 5, but there were people that I'd never met before. Some of the fellow actors that had done series 1 or 2 or had left or died before I got there, kind of thing. And it was, oh my goodness, it was amazing. It was like nothing I've ever experienced before. There were between 300 and 400 fans there, people that were giving me presents, people that were telling me that, it was the best day of their lives to meet me, and telling me as well, actually, how much Bad Girls had affected them and really changed their lives. I think, or I also found out the weekend just gone that it's the longest running same-sex relationship anywhere in the world depicted on television.
But Bad Girls has got a huge LGBT following, and you have a huge LGBT following.
I do.
You yourself are openly bisexual, aren't you?
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
How do you think society is accepting LGBT people now? Do you think series like Bad Girls have helped?
I definitely do. I think, I mean, the series itself started in 99. I didn't join till 2001. So it had been running for a while by the time I got there. But I think just having something from people I've spoken to, as I say, this last weekend, I mean, meeting so many fans face to face. It's one thing getting letters or getting emails, but actually meeting people and giving them a hug and seeing how much, that it's affected them was a really, it was a really lovely experience, as well as raising money for the charity, of course.
I know you're single. Are you single at the moment?
I am, sadly.
So,
Yeah, COVID kind of put paid to any dating.
you're gorgeous. So if a boy or girl were to woo you, or want to court you, how would they go about it? What would win your heart?
I think, God, I'm going to sound really cynical now, but I have been burned quite a lot in the past with liars, and I hate it when people pretend to be something they're not. People talk absolute rubbish, or you find out they're cheating on you, or you find out they've got a fake profile, or they've got a dating profile on Tinder while they're dating you. Things like that. It's really important for me to be able to trust someone. So I think honesty is probably top of my list. But also being able to be spontaneous and fun. I love, part of the reason I'm an actress is because I would hate to have a boring life. I like every day thinking, oh, what's going to happen now, kind of thing. You never know as an actor what you're going to be doing next week. Sometimes jobs come in at the last minute. And I think the same with my love life. I would like to be with someone that's like, should we do this? Or, hey, fancy going here, and surprises me with exciting things.
Do you think that makes it difficult dating? As you just said, sometimes a job comes in and that's you off. So if you're dating someone that was an electrician or a chef that had a steady job, and do you think that makes it difficult dating?
I suppose in a way, I mean, it just depends on how understanding the person is, really, because obviously my career has always been so important to me.
Yeah.
If I met the right person and I was madly in love with them, maybe my career wouldn't be quite so important. Who knows? Don't know. But obviously it helps if you've got someone understanding that realizes that is the nature of the job. And I think that's why I've never settled down, just because I've always wanted to be able to, at the drop of a hat, fly off to Australia to film a Special K advert like I did a few years ago, or fly out to Mallorca and sing for a couple of weeks, and teaching. I went and did drama school teaching in Barcelona for 3 months, and you can't really do that if you're at home with a husband and kids. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Listen, what's the oddest request you've ever had from a fan?
Oh, well, there's been a few. There was a chap who wrote to me once years ago saying the usual stuff about me being his favorite actress, etc., and then saying it had been a dream of his for some time for me to carry him on my shoulders for the charity of my choice, and that he would like to come and meet. And he then described how this would happen. So he would come and meet me at a stage door if I'm doing a show. He would meet me. I would then carry him on my shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
And if my partner or husband/boyfriend, he put in the letter, did not like the idea, perhaps we could have some other fun along that line. I'm not quite sure what fun I would have. And then he put, I'm 5'10", I weigh 11 stone, brackets, I've not been weighed or measured for some time. I mean, it's just so bizarre. So that was very odd. And then actually, I had a request earlier this year from a lady who said, would it be all right for me to give her my permission for her to have my face tattooed on her back? Well, at first I was a bit kind of, God, wow, that's a bit freaky. But then I talked to my friends and family about it, and I thought, you know what, when's this ever going to happen again? Like, it's actually kind of the highest form of flattery, isn't it, for someone to want you indelibly marked on them for the rest of their lives? Yeah. So I thought, yeah, why not? And actually she came to the reunion, so I met her at the reunion. I got to see it in the flesh, and yeah, it was very flattering. She said she was delighted to meet me. She's so proud to have me on her back, and she's now asked me permission to have another one, a bigger one. So I think next time I see her, I'm going to be in yet another picture of me on her back. So there you go. It's like a Nicole Faraday gallery on this lady's back.
Everyone likes having a moment of being naughty or being a bad girl. What was the naughtiest thing you've ever done?
So I have to be honest. For years, when I was in Bad Girls, obviously we were always asked, oh, so, have you ever done anything? Have you ever been in trouble with the police in real life? Or what's the naughtiest thing you've done? And because I was so naughty when I was younger, getting expelled from school, I'll explain why in a sec. My mum was so, at the time, embarrassed about it that she made me promise never to talk about it. So I did all these press interviews where people were asking what the naughtiest thing I ever did. And I had to just say, oh, smoking, or being caught drinking whiskey, or something really boring, when I had this killer story. And then someone sold the story to the press anyway. So suddenly I was interviewed about it on Loose Women. So I can tell you now. So when I was 15, bear in mind, this was years and years and years ago, or it was long before Al Qaeda or bombs on trains or anything. I don't want people to think I'm actually a terrorist.
Yeah.
And my all girls school, the Duchess of Kent, came to open our new music block. And my friend and I made a pretend bomb. And they cancelled. I know, it's terrible. I was 15. But we made it just, I mean, it was like cartoon. So it was like a little wooden box and some blue tack and an old alarm clock that went tick, tick, tick. And we wrote, ha, ha, I'm a bomb on it. So that they'd go, and then realize it was a joke, but they didn't. They cancelled the royal visit. There were bomb squad experts that came down that were about to blow up the school because they were going to do a controlled explosion. They thought it was real. Like there was sniffer dogs everywhere. There was helicopters overhead and everything. I mean, I was in so much trouble. Thankfully, they realized from interviewing us separately that it was just a stupid joke that we didn't realize would be taken so out of context.
Is that why you got expelled?
Yes, for trying to blow up the Duchess of Kent. But there were no, I'm just what it's saying, there were no explosives involved. It was blue tack to look like Semtex. It was a joke, but it just was a bit of a poorly taste joke. And obviously I wouldn't do something like that today. It was a long time ago. It was like kind of, yeah, it was like a bit of a St. Trinian school prank that went a bit wrong. So yeah, that's why I got kicked out of school. And so then when someone sold the story to the newspapers, in the Sun, it said, bad girls bomber was bomber in real life.
Who are you still in touch with from Bad Girls, and who were your favorite in the series?
Do you know, I've been in touch for years. So the people that I probably got on with best are the people, just because from a day-to-day point of view, they're the people that I spent the most time with. So yeah. Kim Oliver, who played Buki, I was great friends with. Alicia Ao, who played Denny, I was good friends with. Pauline Campbell, who played Al, my little wee Scottish sidekick. She and I have been in touch for years. Vicky Bush. But they're all absolutely lovely. And actually having just done the reunion, as I was saying, so it's fresh in my mind, when we all saw each other again, it was so nice. Like we were all really, really nervous because some of us hadn't seen each other for 18 years. That's how long ago we finished filming together. And just seeing each other again, it didn't take long before we were kind of reminiscing and talking about, oh God, do you remember when such and such happened? And it was almost like time had rewound, so we could just remember. It was like kind of we'd finished filming yesterday. It was a really odd feeling. And actually, thanks to Simone for getting us all together, because I think we've basically all said now this is ridiculous, we must see each other more. So I think whether we're doing a reunion for the fans or not, I think we as a cast will have a regular reunion now. And Deborah, for example, Deborah Stevenson, I always got on well with her. Only did 4 episodes with her because she was heavily pregnant at the time. She came back in for 4 episodes, set my head on fire and left again. The character, obviously. But she now lives down near me, so she's on the south coast. So we've said we must be ladies who lunch. So that will be nice. So reconnecting with everyone has been a dream.
What's the worst date you've ever been on and the best date you've ever been on?
Oh dear. So sadly, probably the best dates I've ever been on are with my long-term exes, who are exes for very good reasons. But I do remember one date in particular, my first date with my partner I was with for 2 years actually. We went to an amazing cocktail bar that she'd chosen, knowing that I'm an actress and that I like quirky things. And it was all themed historically. I think it was themed around Phileas Fogg and the adventures of Phileas Fogg and stuff. So it was like round the world themed. It was really cool. Yeah, it was lovely. And then we got a limousine back to her place, and she cooked the most amazing rare steak with port and Stilton sauce. Like she'd kind of done her homework, knew what things I liked, and so it was just kind of like one thing after another. So an amazing, cool, quirky bar, then like my favorite food for dinner, and then the views from her flat, like beautiful views all across London. And then there was a spa in the flats as well, so then I went and had a nice swim and a jacuzzi and a steam, and I just thought, oh, this is the life. But then it all went terribly wrong. So there you go. So first, really good dates don't always lead to really good relationships.
Do you have a worst date you've been on?
I can't think of one in particular, but I'd say probably the worst dates I've been on are ones where people, all they want to talk about. I mean, it's brilliant that people know and love and enjoy my work and recognize the stuff I've done. But if they spend the entire time, and I have had a few where they spend the entire time just going, so what was it like when you did such and such a scene? Or so who's the most famous person you've ever worked with? So what's this person like? And it's kind of like they don't actually want to get to know you as a person. They just want to know all about the famous people you've worked with, or when you filmed this scene, what was this like? And you're like, come on, I'm not at a fan convention now. I'm meant to be on a date with you. So it's things like that. It's when people kind of get bogged down with the whole celebrity thing and the whole bad girls. And then I've had the odd comment as well, where mainly from blokes, I have to say. Some of them are so shallow, but anyway, saying like, oh, do you ever look back and regret that you didn't do more when you were so young and thin and beautiful? And you're just like, why don't you look like that anymore? And you're like, excuse me, like, everyone ages. It's hard to compete with yourself. From I did Bad Girls. I started Bad Girls when I was 26. Like 20 years ago now, so it's hard to kind of try and maintain that.
I mean, it is quite ageist society, isn't it? I mean, for actresses, I mean, unless you're Helen Mirren or one or two others, it's difficult as the girls to get roles. But I mean, are you finding it as you get on to find it more difficult than you were?
I definitely think that things are changing, thank heavens. I feel like we're kind of coming into our own now. I would hate to go. I suppose I am a middle-aged woman. I just don't like that term. I mean, I'm in my 40s.
No, it's more. I mean, different roles appear a certain. I mean,
exactly. That's what I was going to say. I mean, you've got things like Silent Witness. I've got a friend I was at drama school with, Caroline Sheen. She's in that now. She's just got a new big part in that. You've got Amelia Fox. She's sort of my age. You've got quite a few things now that are coming through. I mean, Bad Girls of its time was so groundbreaking and was such an amazing job to get, because it was one of the very few programs where the protagonists were female and there were strong female characters. Before that, I just played someone's bimbo or, someone's girlfriend, or like had a couple of lines, and the men all get all the lead roles. So Bad Girls was very, very great from that point of view, because suddenly, I had an amazing lead role and it actually was kick-ass. And, whereas now I would say, I think and hope from what I've seen, that they're redressing the balance a bit, and you do get some really meaty, juicy female roles. So I'm just hoping, because I've just got a new agent, I'm hoping that that I'll be getting one of them soon.
People also need to know that you're an incredible singer, and never mind the acting. You are. I mean, you played Eva Cassidy, and you have. For you can turn your hand to singing or and not just acting. I want to play Eva Cassidy.
Oh, so Eva, that was incredible. Just because for people, people know Eva Cassidy. Her story is so tragic. She died when she was 33, which is no age at all. She died of cancer, and she wasn't famous when she died because she sang so many different styles of music that when she went to record companies, they wanted to put her in a box. They wanted her to either be a country artist or a blues artist or a jazz, and they were saying, you can't do all these different styles. And she said, but I want. She didn't write music, but she did her amazing interpretations of famous songs like Over the Rainbow, Fields of Gold by Sting, obviously, Songbird, which was Fleetwood Mac originally. So she did her own versions of songs, but in all different genres. And it was only once she had died that someone sent recordings of her singing Over the Rainbow to Terry Wogan, bless him, when he was still alive. And he fell in love with her voice, played it on Radio 2 every day, her version of Over the Rainbow, and suddenly it became #1. So posthumously, she is the most successful dead artist after Elvis, can you believe? When she wasn't even famous when she was alive. And it's because suddenly people have fallen in love with her voice, and they've all heard her music since she died, which is so sad, because it means she never got to know kind of how much she touched people's lives and hearts. And when I played Eva Cassidy, it was it was really scary, because she has got such a brilliant voice, or had such a brilliant voice. And because of the different styles, there's some genres I'd never done before, like jazz and blues. I just hadn't kind of done that stuff. So it was hard, like learning it and making my voice. I'm quite good at impersonating female singers. So kind of just manipulating my voice to sound like her. And so once I'd done that, singing 28 of her songs every night on stage, touring around the UK and Ireland, was just the most fantastic feeling, with a live band and everything.
I think, you're known for acting and singing second, but I think people should go onto YouTube and listen to your voice, because it is quite something else. I mean, it's like, I remember coming to see you the first time and being blown away by that voice.
That's how we met, wasn't it? Eva Cassidy. I think you watched me in that.
I met you, and I was sitting there for some reason on the front row, which I would normally never do. And this voice came out, and I thought, I actually thought they had taken tapes and you were miming, because it was so realistic.
Thank you, Steve.
When I got backstage and realised that you, in fact, were that was your voice. So I couldn't help but see Ginny Lemon was at the Bad Girl conference from RuPaul's Drag Race. Are you a fan of RuPaul?
Do you know, I really am. And it's funny because I've had friends that for years, I mean, obviously all my friends love RuPaul, or nearly all of them love RuPaul. And I just had it I kind of missed out. I hadn't watched the first couple of series, the American one.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that obviously each individual series, which I realize now, you can start watching it whenever. You don't have to have watched the previous series. So when RuPaul's Drag Race UK started, that's when I started watching it. And therefore, and now I absolutely love it. And I actually think, having watched now a few of RuPaul's American series, I can connect, obviously just being British, there's so much British humor in the UK one, and I can connect much more with it. And so that's now, yes. So I had seen Ginny Lemon in the last series of RuPaul's Drag Race. So it was really fun to meet her. Oh, what a lovely, lovely person. Like, really, we had a lovely, lovely time together. And it was great because Ginny said they were a lifelong fan of Bad Girls, and it was an amazing opportunity for them to meet us all, and gave us all a pair of socks with her face on. She's got her own merchandise with like little Ginny Lemon faces on, so that was fab. So we were delighted.
If you were
so
a
we
drag
parted
queen,
at the hotel.
if you were a drag queen, what would you call yourself?
You know what? The funniest thing is, I remember years ago when I was in Bad Girls and I was at Pride and I was a bit naughty. There was such a long queue for the ladies. I went in the gents in Leicester Square, and as I came out, someone went, "Oh, I knew! Oh my goodness, I knew it! I told my friend it's your shoulders that give you away. I knew you're a man." And so they thought, and they were like, "Snowball Merriman, that's good on you, Snowball." And then it turns out lots of drag queens actually around the time did name themselves Snowball after Snowball Merriman because she was so camp. So I think I would just have to be the original Snowball Merriman, because Snowball's name came from the writers. Two of the writers, a lovely lesbian couple, their first pet was a white fluffy rabbit called Snowball, and their mother's maiden name was Merriman. And there's that porn name game where you take the name of your first pet and your mother's maiden name. And so my Snowball Merriman actually came from one of the writers' first pet and her mother's maiden name. So Snowball Merriman, I think, is actually quite a good porn name. And seeing as how people thought I was a man in drag anyway, I might as well just continue with the carry on the illusion.
What's really interesting is you're doing panto this year, aren't you?
I am, and I'm playing a role that's normally played by a man. Yeah. So there, I'm playing Abanazar in Aladdin down at the Harlequin Theatre in Red Hill. And I have to say, because of COVID, obviously, I was meant to be working there last year playing Caraboss in Sleeping Beauty, which I've done before. I always play the baddie in panto, obviously because of Bad Girls, but also because I like seeing the big belty numbers and being camp and fabulous. So there you go, stalking around the stage in my knee-high black boots. But yeah, so once it was cancelled last year, when I saw that they'd changed the title to Aladdin, I thought, oh, here we go. That means I'm out of a job then, because many of my friends, they were doing the same title at the theatre, so they rolled over the contracts. But the producers, lovely producers, I've worked for them for years, Paul Holman Associates, they phoned me and said, oh no, don't think you're out of a job. We still want you to work for us. We're rewriting the script to make her a woman. So I'm going to be playing like one of the first female Abanazars, but I'm not playing her because I thought, do you know what? I just need to work after all this horrible time we've had. Yeah. So I would have done it I'd have done it, as with a moustache or whatever else I needed. But actually they said, no, don't be ridiculous. Yeah, as a drag king. But they said, no, we're rewriting it and making her a woman. So I will be evil Auntie Abanazar instead of Uncle Abanazar. So I'm playing it as a woman.
What dates is it on, please?
It's on from the 10th of December through to the 4th or 5th of January, down at the Harlequin Theatre in Red Hill.
Brilliant. Okay, well, I'll definitely come and see you in that.
Excellent. Well, that would be nice.
What else have you got coming up for us?
So I have got a couple of feature films coming out. I did a feature film which you came to the premiere of quite a while ago, but there's been sticking points, what with COVID and everything. And anyway, a film called Ask the Cheat that I played the lead in, that I started opposite Nick Moran and Martin Treneman, and that was great fun. It's a real black comedy, kind of in-betweeners. The in-betweeners writers kind of had some input, so it's kind of that sort of silly kind of Channel 4 type comedy, but it was great fun. And that should be coming out this year. Please. Then also Lawrence After Arabia, which is filmed down here in Dorset and was all about Lawrence. And I just had a couple of days filming on that. And I also had a couple of days filming on a feature film called The Drugs Game, which we filmed in East Sussex between the second and third lockdowns. And I was really impressed. Like, it was a proper COVID secure set. Like these days you have to have your temperature taken and wear the mask and everything, and you have to do your own makeup and things because of everything, doing it all properly. But anyway, we filmed it during the last year, and we had the premiere for that actually at the drive-in cinema at Tully's in Sussex a couple of weeks ago, and it was really nice to see it up on the big screen. So that'll be coming out. I think that's coming out on Netflix or Amazon Prime. Actually, I think it's coming out on.
And
So I've got a few films coming out.
And you played Vinnie Jones' wife, didn't you? And that's done
I
quite
did.
well. The video.
Kill Kane, yeah, that was fun. Kind of proper sort of British gangster flick. Played his wife. I better not tell you what happens because it would be spoiler alert. But you can watch that. That's on Amazon Prime as well.
I'm so pleased for you doing so well, and I'll definitely see you in Banter. But hopefully, I'll see you before that. Thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, and just to let you know as well, Stephen, they've started showing Bad Girls again for the first time on Freeview since it was on ITV. So it's on UK TV Play on the drama channel nightly, I think, at the moment. And they've been doing it for the last few weeks, and they've got to season 3. So it's about to be the episodes, because I came in series 4. So if people are interested in watching Bad Girls, if they want to rewatch it, or if they missed it the first time, it's on Freeview on the drama channel at the moment every evening. And I come into it in season 4, episode 13.
Oh, darling, thank you ever so much. Lots of love to you. See you
Thank
soon.
you. Lovely to see you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.